How healing starts with understanding your mind. Have you ever wondered why healing, whether from stress, trauma, or heartbreak, sometimes feels impossible? Here's the truth. Healing doesn't start with a magic pill, a perfect morning routine, or even time. It starts with something deeper: understanding your mind. Because the mind isn't just where pain is stored, it's also where healing begins. In this video, I'll show you the science behind how your mind shapes your healing, the hidden traps that keep people stuck, and the simple shifts you can use to finally move forward. Section 1. Why your mind shapes your healing. Let's start with the science. The human brain processes thousands of thoughts a day, and research from the National Science Foundation suggests that 80% of those are negative and 95% are repetitive. That means if you've been hurt, your mind doesn't just replay the wound once, it replays it like a broken record. This cycle makes healing feel impossible. But here's the twist. Neuroscience tells us about neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself. Just as negative patterns reinforce pain, intentional thoughts and actions can rewire your brain for resilience and recovery. In 2004, a Harvard study found that people who simply imagined practicing the piano showed the same brain changes as those who physically practiced. That means your thoughts alone can reshape your brain. Imagine what they can do for your healing. Section 2. The hidden traps that keep us stuck. When people can't move on from pain, it's usually because they fall into 3 mental traps. 1. The victim loop. Believing this always happens to me, I'm powerless. 2. The blame game. Replaying who hurt you instead of focusing on your recovery. 3. The suppression cycle. Pretending nothing happened, which only makes the pain leak out in other ways. Stress, anger, even physical illness. Studies on PTSD veterans show that suppressing traumatic memories increases stress hormones like cortisol, making symptoms worse. On the other hand, acknowledging and working through those thoughts reduces their intensity. Section 3. Step 1. Awareness. Healing begins with awareness. Think of your mind as a house. You can't clean it if you don't turn on the lights. Start by noticing your inner dialogue. What do you say to yourself when nobody's listening? Do you tell yourself you're weak, broken, or unworthy? Tip: try thought labeling. Research from UCLA shows that when you name an emotion, like saying this is sadness, instead of just drowning in it, you activate the prefrontal cortex. That's the part of your brain that calms the emotional storm. For 1 week, whenever a strong feeling comes up, pause and say, I notice I'm feeling anxious, or I notice I'm thinking about failure. That pause is where healing begins. Section 4. Step 2. Reframing the story. Every wound carries a story. They betrayed me. I lost everything. I'll never recover. But here's the thing. The story you tell shapes how the wound heals. This is where cognitive reframing comes in the backbone of cognitive behavioral therapy. Instead of seeing the story as the end, you reinterpret it as a chapter. Example: Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison. Instead of telling himself, I was robbed of my life, he reframed the story. I was being prepared for leadership. That mindset fueled his healing. And later, South Africa's. Take one painful event and ask, what else could this mean? What lesson or strength might come out of this? Section 5. Step 3. Self-compassion. This is where most people fail. They think healing means pushing harder or being tougher. But science disagrees. Dr. Kristen Neff's research on self-compassion shows that people who treat themselves with kindness during suffering are more resilient than those who criticize themselves. Michael Phelps, the most decorated Olympian, struggled with depression and even thoughts of suicide. What helped him heal wasn't just therapy, but learning to treat himself with patience instead of punishment. Next time you catch yourself saying, I'm so stupid, or I'll never get better, pause and rephrase it as if you were speaking to your best friend. Healing starts with how you speak to yourself. Section 6. Step 4. The power of environment. Healing isn't just internal, it's also external. Studies from Stanford show that emotions are contagious. If you surround yourself with negativity, you'll stay stuck. If you surround yourself with people who lift you up, your brain rewires faster. J.K. Rowling has shared how, during her lowest point as a single mom on welfare, one supportive friend kept her going. That environment gave her the strength to finish Harry Potter and rewrite her life story. Audit your environment. Who drains your energy? Who restores it? Healing often means choosing the right company. Section 7. Step 5. Daily rituals that rewire your mind. Healing isn't one big leap. It's daily, small steps. Gratitude practice. Harvard studies show it reduces depression. Meditation. Research from Johns Hopkins found that just 8 weeks of mindfulness reduced anxiety and improved healing responses. Movement, exercise releases endorphins, your body's natural antidepressants. Actor Keanu Reeves, after losing his best friend and partner, leaned on daily rituals, reading, walking, and practicing gratitude to slowly rebuild his sense of peace. Section 8. Long-term healing equals identity shift. The deepest level of healing isn't about fixing wounds. It's about shifting identity. Instead of saying, "I am broken," you start saying, "I am healing. I am growing. I am resilient." Because words matter. The way you define yourself shapes the reality your brain builds. Holocaust survivor Viktor Frankl wrote in Man's Search for Meaning that even in the most unimaginable suffering, he chose to see himself not as a victim, but as someone who could find meaning. That mindset became his path to healing and inspired millions. So here's the truth. Healing doesn't begin with time. It doesn't begin with someone else fixing you. It begins with understanding your mind. Awareness lights the path. Reframing rewrites the story. Self-compassion softens the wound. Environment accelerates growth. Daily rituals carve a new identity. Your mind is not your enemy, it's your ally. And once you understand it, true healing begins. If this video spoke to you, subscribe to Illuminate Me now for more psychology and neuroscience that can transform your life. And in the comments, tell me, what's one belief you're ready to let go of today? Because your healing story starts now with your mind.